Storytelling is one of the great joys of working with young children. The more we read to and with children, the more words they hear and understand. Books broaden children's vocabulary and provide them with an understanding of sentence structure. This sets them on the right path to be fluent, lifelong readers. In this section we're talking about reading comprehension and particularly focusing on variety of books that we provide children. As you both know, children should be read to many times every day because it's absolutely essential that we help children to develop a love of stories and a love of books, lifelong skill. From a very young age, children can form really strong attachments, particular books. How do you actually help children to have a variety of books in your settings?
In the nursery we have lots of different styles of books, different types of books. So in the construction area we might have some maps, maybe some books on different buildings. We also then would say in the home corner we might have cookery books so that they've got that example and it's purposeful. So it's the sort of book style that you might need if you're cooking something in the home corner.
Do you have a range of different languages and books?
Yes, we do, yeah. We've also had parents come in and do storytelling in different languages as well, which has been great for the child who have it in their home language to then obviously share that with their peer group.
The next section I'd like us to just chat about is how we vary tone and expression. So when we're reading to children, it means that we can use the different voices, intonation and facial expressions. It's actually the fun part, isn't it, of sharing books and rhymes with children. It helps the children to begin to engage with the story. It also helps them to anticipate what might happen next and to become riveted and absolutely really engaged in that print and what's happening through story and rhyme. Would you like to share some of the examples that you do in your practice?
Lots of books have different characters in, so it's taking on that character, taking on different voices for that character, different tones. So if there's a giant, a big, booming voice, obviously, and the children really relate to that and then they can help associate it with the different characters in the book.
We did a magic cooking pot story the other day and we got some porridge and we mixed it up and the little girl turned around and said that one was just right. So she's bringing the story of the magic cooking pot into our wordplay and our stories and our acting out the magic cooking pot story.
And do you ever provide more than one copy of particular stories?
We have lots of copies of the same book so the children can read alongside each other, particularly when we've got maybe a new child settling in and they buddy up you know, with one of our children that's already settled, so that they can share and sort of point out similar parts of the story they like and things like that.
When you're doing all this beautiful sharing of books and turning pages, how do you actually get the children to engage with the print or the pictures? How do you do that and develop that?
Quite often, the older age range, you'll be running your finger along the words. Quite often see one of their letters that they can see from their name and they'll point it out to you, or they'll be shouting out the words as well, or you sort of pause a bit as the next page is coming along. You're pausing, waiting for them to join in and shout the words that you know they know.
We all use books lots of times, but how do you actually help children to understand the certain characteristics that come with the full range of books throughout your setting?
So obviously even from a young age, you know, you're encouraging children to open the book correctly. You're sort of role modelling and teaching them how to turn the pages. You know, like we were saying about you pointing to words, so you're doing the left to right, so they're understanding how a book would flow. We also talk about like the book's title, you know, and how that's put on the front, the author, you know, and the illustrations sometimes, so that they're learning all those different parts of that make up a book.
Through books and reading, children learn to think, reflect and talk about what they have heard and can see. Both fiction and non-fiction broaden children's horizons, introducing them to new ideas and helping them make sense of the world.
When reading and storytelling, children respond well to adults using different voices, intonations and facial expressions. This helps to make reading more engaging and memorable as they begin to recognise books, distinguish between characters and have an instinctive sense of the developing story.
Reading and storytelling should happen many times a day and be thoroughly interactive during the early years. Sing rhymes, play games, recall events, and let children play together with books. Sharing books helps develop children's conversation and vocabulary as they notice, wonder, name, and show curiosity about the different worlds books can open up. Make sure the books you have portray a diversity of characters and experiences, and introduce children to non-fiction books and online sources too. It is important to choose books, stories and rhymes to extend children's knowledge of words and phrases that they do not normally hear in everyday speech.